jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS the first in the building. What's good? So I just decided to make this video because people come in on the review that I did, right? So I look at it like this. This is not the first time I did a review on a person's video. Cooking with Surf Senior in the building. Salute to you. Yesterday wasn't the first, okay? So I know when you have certain individuals that pretty much listen to a specific channel. Not one time did I sit up here and disrespect the host and Malachi when he was freaking, going through the whole interview process. You know what I'm saying? I'm mature enough to the fact that if 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 me and a person not seeing eye to eye, that doesn't mean I can't do a freaking review on their video without being biased, right? But you have these individuals that are talking about something that they're pretty much off the mark with. And the reason why I say that is I didn't even start the entire video. They're speaking on the clips that I did as if I played the entire exchange. I didn't play the entire exchange. I wanted to get to a certain point and take it from there because I didn't want to use up a lot of his own content for reasons. So therefore, I only played what I wanted to play and made the comment off of it. Now, for those of you that's commenting and leaving, you have every right to do that. But what I can respond to is when you are pretty off topic of what the hell you're talking about. Y'all busy up here making it personal with Schofield when Schofield was talking about a personal experience that he had with Malachi back in the day. I don't have anything to do with that conversation. I told y'all several times, you was paying attention, that particular encounter I have nothing to do with because I wasn't there. So if y'all would have paid attention, it was grown men talking. Well, at one point in time it was a monologue. And when a dude having a monologue with you on your channel, that's up to the person's channel to kind of shut that down and interject when he can. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. You can mute him and show that control button, or you can let him stay on the panel. Obviously there's a different level of respect between these two, I guess, during the convo. He didn't want to put him in the background. because you can't put them in the background and then talk. And I can guarantee you, when you bring them back to the panel, either they're going to understand or they're going to keep on amping it up. You know what I'm saying? But that disrespect didn't happen. Okay. Yes, being out talked, over talked on your panel, nah, that's a stop sign right there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nothing is going the way it's supposed to for the listeners if one person is talking. Now, if you on a personal level, I can kind of understand where the energy shifted to one side, because what people are trying to do is act like I played the entire interaction between Malachi and Pops. I didn't. I didn't do it. But as grown men, I was saying I knew where he's coming from. They had a personal relation, as far as friendship or respect level, when somebody invites you in your home and you've known them as long as you have. So the only thing I got from Schofield feeling the way he was with that energy was that keep the same energy that you had when you was in the house telling my son about how good he was. That's it. I'm not gonna look, y'all getting mad off, to my he's contradicting and he said Abdullah was trash. I didn't say Abdullah. Man, I like Abdullah and his family, man. Abdullah, man, they some good people. They some look, the Masons are a good that's a strong structured family. They some good people. I was doing a review. It had nothing to do with leaning towards Schofield, leaning towards Mason. I just broke down what I believe could kind of give people a better understanding as to what the argument is with Pops. Pops is breaking it down from prospect to contender, and he was trying to explain to y'all that it was based off who the fighters have fought. Now, to the casual boxing fan, they may look at this and say, "Oh well, so and so has 17 wins, 50." That's casuals. But what Pops was talking about, look in the record and see who's fought who and who they have fought. Then you will understand why my son is up in the rankings as high as he was. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Toby, Mr. International in the building. Salute WCS and the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. No doubt about it, Toby. Salute to you, brother. What's happening, WCS? I listened to the video on playback this morning. I thought it was well balanced and unbiased. Look, some people don't have the maturity. Like, they'll try to put you against another channel. Man, I don't hold on to shit like that. I just distance myself. So if they was over here unwilling to listen, you know what I'm saying? Unwilling to listen what I was saying, and then they don't understand it's a review. What's the purpose of doing a review if you're not talking and giving your assessment during the review? That's why a lot of you all I'm trying to understand, when you was in school, man, were you in the trailers out back? Or were you in the actual school itself? I think some of you was out in the trailer, bro. Where your class consisted of about a good 8 kids. Cause y'all don't listen. Y'all trying to make it personal and tell me, oh, Schofield. Yeah, I said Schofield didn't let the man talk. He didn't let him talk. It was his freaking panel. He was the host. It was up to him to try to mediate to shut that down. I mean, when you attempt to, interject, and then a person keep on talking, and it's your panel, well, you have the option to put them in the background. Ooh, that background boy. Ooh, they're gonna be boiling because they say, "How dare he?" See, if he would have put Pops in the background, he would have had the control then, just like Pops had the control of shutting down his live at the end and say, you know what I'm saying, just because he felt it was time for him to leave on that note, and he left for what he felt was the calling card. He threw the motherfucking deuce of spade on the table and left. He threw it on the table and left. Whereas Malachi could have definitely put him in the background and he would have been enraged. He put him in the background. Now listen to me, since you wouldn't allow me to speak on my panel. You know what I'm saying? That didn't have nothing to do with me. So please chill with the comments acting as if y'all never had someone, interact with y'all. I mean, do a review on a video. Y'all trying to make it channel versus channel. No, man, pay attention to what I was saying. I can't say Malachi had good points because he wasn't doing no talking. Pops was doing most of the talking when I'm started. And peep this out. When you said when Malachi, the only certain X's that I have with the cons of he asked about 50-50 fight, and I felt that he was educated on the 50-50 fight because Pop said we're feeding our family. And he got straight down to the point. He said, we're feeding our family. So how are you rating his opponent? How are you rating his opposition? When these fighters are building up their resume, they are not fighting ranked opponents. Okay, let's get that understood. Not everybody can do what Teofimo Lopez did in 15 fights. I say this over and over again. Not everyone can do what Teofimo Lopez did in 15 fights. He fought a title eliminator in 14 and fought Richard Comey in 15 and Lomachenko in 16. Not everybody can do this. Then this conversation, if it was Lopez Sr., would be different. Because it would be no argument. Who your son say? I told you. He was going to be a champion in 15 fights. And then we was going to beat Lomachenko in 16 and did it. What are you talking about? Well, it'll be a whole different topic. It'll be a whole different topic, yo. Right or wrong. It will be an entirely different topic. But every fighter's rise in the sport is different. When I comment on the videos every now and then, right? I'm commenting based off what you said. I'm not going in on nobody unless they being stupid. Like they'll say, "Oh, why you got to cut off the video? Why?" It's not for me. Look, you can go look at his video. It's his content. If you want me to let it play from start to finish, stupid. That's why it's called a review. You using somebody else's content and then you play from start to finish without saying a fucking word. That's come on, man. Aren't y'all smarter than that? Why do I have to break this shit down? Haven't y'all been on the internet long enough? Haven't y'all been on social media long enough? I do reactions. I was one of the first ones to start doing reactions to these motherfucking boxing videos. Yeah, me. And then everybody else started doing it. And you know who I started doing a reaction video to? So people don't like reaction videos because another human being get to assess what you're talking about. I get it. But y'all are not paying attention to what I started. Look, if you're going to say, oh, well, you know how the WBA is. There's no knock on him. I've said that. Well, you know how to sanction, but I've said that. But when you're dealing with somebody like Pops, you're going to have to break it down and explain it because you insinuating that Floyd is where he is in the sanctioning body based off politics. Politics can be who you know, how you know them. It can be based off sidebar conversations, under the table handshakes. The politics ranges deep. The roots go deep on how politics can help or assist a fighter or degrade a fighter's progress. How it can progress a fighter or digress a fighter. Politics works in many ways. It can be beneficial to a fighter, non-beneficial. But if you're going to say, oh man, we know how sanction. For a dude like Pops, you're gonna have to break it down and explain what you mean because you're talking about my son. Now the Mason and Floyd situation, oh man, yeah, you missed it. I was given a review because I know how to speak for myself. I know how to translate. I know how to receive information, decode it, and then retransmit it. That's all I was doing. People love to say, oh, you didn't catch that. You didn't catch that neither. Listen, Mason's name was brought up. And that's not the first time I heard Abdullah Mason's name. Abdullah Mason is shining right now. You know what I'm saying? He has a very user friendly style that people are gravitating to. His family, everybody's family is different, especially when you got a father son tandem, bro. You know what I'm saying? Them Masons, Abdullah Mason is shining right now. Period. That's just the way it is in boxing, man. It takes nothing away from their family. Good family. I haven't met the Schofields yet, but he run his boxing. You know what I'm saying? He makes his boxing rounds the way he does, and the Masons making the way they were. I've met the Masons. I haven't met the Schofields yet. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the type of person to come in here and dog out, Floyd Schofield because they're talking about the Masons who I've met. I'm trying to find out what's the debate about. If people are talking about they want to see Schofield versus Mason, well, you have to listen to what his pops is talking about. Even I have mentioned how even with the Crawford situation, I say why would he reach back and fight Boots? And this is the same situation. The same situation can be used because WCS did a live back on Boots when he entered the top 15. I did it, and I've shown pretty much the caveat of what Pops was saying. I mean, of what Malachi was saying. You know how it can happen in the sanctioning body. I've been on record as saying, yeah, you know how I can work with the sanctioning bodies. So he wasn't off the mark with that, but he just needed to prove or provide evidence to what Pops was talking about when he said, how did they do it? Tell me, how do the WBA, if you could explain how the WBA or the sanctioned bodies maneuver and finesse these freaking fighters up the ranking system, then it would have been a different conversation. But he's not the type for you to just, you think he's a run of the mill type of dude and he ain't listening to what you're saying. No, he listens. He's listening. I know at one point Malachi said, you talk so much, your ears are not listening. He doesn't have to listen to what he's saying because we generate our thoughts from inside out. So he don't have to listen to what he's saying to translate his own words. He's generating what he's saying and transmitting them to you. And yeah, all you had to do in that case was explain. But I've been on record saying the same thing. I didn't think Malachi was wrong in saying, hey, when it comes to the WBA, you know how it can go. I did the live on Boots. I say, how can you move up this spot and you didn't fight nobody? How can you move up another spot and you was asleep? How can you move up a couple more spots when you fought Thomas Delorme with two freaking? And then you think about what Pop said. Pop said, who has these fighters fought? They have experience, but they've been in there with champions. And if you look at Thomas Delorme, is that not? Is that not? Yeah, he may have some losses, but has he been in there with champions? You know what I'm saying? Are you looking at the experience factor of these fighters? When you look at a Yorkis Gamboa, Gamboa's trash. He's just who has he been in there with? So Pops was saying, my son is where he at based off his level of competition. He fought higher competition, harder competition. And I've gave you the breakdown as far as the amount of experience that Floyd Schofield opponents has vice freaking Abdullah Mason. And people up here defending as if Abdullah Mason was talked about. Hell no. Them some good people right there. And I'm pretty sure Floyd them good people too. I don't know them like that. Just because his dad is he has a very energetic personality doesn't make him a bad person. Just because he talk his shit to people, man, I'm not gonna sit here and intervene with that grown ass man do and how he talks. That's him. But I can tell you this: if I was talking to him about boxing, being that I already had this preamble, I would pretty much go in there with the understanding that, wherever I try to take this conversation, I kind of know his rhythm and what you're gonna have to be detailed, especially if it's dealing with having a conversation about how do you feel about my son at 135-pound division? How do you feel about Floyd? Compare it to everybody else. He'll ask you a direct freaking question. How do you feel about it? Ah, well, I think he won the best in the fit. No, I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you that. I say, how do you feel about my son when it comes to the 135-pound division? He wants details. He's ranked in the WBA and the IBF. So from there, you got to start putting together a motherfucking puzzle piece. You just can't say, oh man, he's one of the best to do. No, that's not going to be enough. If Floyd himself, the fighter, asks you, he say, okay, so what makes me, in your eyes, better than this particular fighter right here? Because as I put out there, Floyd Schofield has 10 rounders already, bro. That does constitutes for something. A lot of you cats is leaving comments like you want to argue with me, bro. I'm not here to babysit. I like interaction with the comments. Please leave the comments. But I'm not arguing with you as if you're trying to say, oh man, I didn't shit on nobody, bro. I didn't shit on nobody. I'm just picking out some points that was made. And yes, it was a damn near on the back end of one-sided conversation until he left. So I'm assuming, the connection, the rapport was at one point in time when, someone invites you into their home. That's the only reason why he didn't kick him off his panel. Because look, that would have shut all that down. Period. Period. Hey, the people would have been talking different. That's how you shut that shit down. You know what I'm saying? You just say, okay, all right, all right. You're not gonna let me talk on my panel? Boom. In the background. Now, this is what I have to say about that. When I was trying to get it out. It was some parts in there where I can only comment based off what was said out to the public. And that is he was pretty much holding Malachi accountable for, conversation they had internal, like in their home. Right? I wasn't there for that conversation. I wasn't there. Hey, y'all hit the like button, man. Stop playing. I wasn't there. So I can only speak up to my limitations of the bound. I wasn't in there. So when Floyd was talking about, oh, stop being phony, when grown men or grown women have conversations in public and it's personal, dog. Does people not know what personal is? You know what I'm saying? If I'm up here saying, okay, Shaw News, you doing your freaking thing out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling him this in person. You doing your thing out here, man. You have grown tremendously since Jackal Fitness. I mean, you out here doing your thing. Your lens game is on point, this, that, and the other. And then I'm getting online. I say, man, hey, the one that's really killing the game, real talk, Skip Mark. Yeah, I ain't seen him take no pictures, but I know he can take a picture though. For real. It's just the energy for me. Like he just be talking so much shit. I know he the one to he gonna look at me like what? Or I'm up here saying, yeah, Shanice, he be out there doing that, but man, no, I don't see it, man. He gonna say, oh man, okay. When I get a chance to get on the panel, I'm gonna ask him some shit. Because this is somebody who I done broke bread with several times. So if me and him had some personal conversations and I get on here talking some other shit about him, yeah, we're going to have a conversation like Schofield and freaking Malachi, but it's going to be different though. It's going to be different in a sense that I know I've had way more encounters, and covering fights with freaking Shaw News on the boxing front lines than Malachi and freaking Schofield had interactions at a boxing match. He kind of felt like if I invite you in my home, that's personal. So I'm holding you accountable for what you told my son in person. I get it. I've broken bread with people. I've been there on Fight Week. I did this. It's just like saying, okay, Shawnee, you ain't really never helped me out with anything. Like I could have got that room on my own. See, that's some shit where you say, okay, man, you phony. You phony as shit. Nah, fuck that. You phony. Now, what you told me in private wasn't what you told the people. So you up here trying to act like you did everything and you know you got, you know what I'm saying? That's phony. So from the outside looking in, he calling Malachi phony is based off what he believes he's hearing out here to the general public. He said, if you believe my son is the best, bro, argue the point. Debate with him. Debate with him why you feel he's the best. Debate with him. Explain to if you're not willing to go to that extra effort about my son when you say, hey man, ain't nobody out working you and you're the best fighter in the gym. The gym? You know, Pops was like, hey, tell me what you was telling me behind the scene. Advocate for my son. That's all. If I invite you in the house and you was up there saying all these compliments about him, I want to hear you say it in public. I will feel real good about that. You know, blacks supporting blacks, right? I mean, look, people are getting mad at me for the way Pops was talking. That dude is high energy, man. That's who he is. If I said Malachi got ran over back and forth, and that's because he didn't shut it down initially. But sometimes it's good to let shit play out. Just like this. Perfect example. Listen to what Malachi said. Okay? Perfect example where I'm going with this. Perfect example.
But all jokes aside, prior to him even saying that, I heard it. But there's a lot of shooters. But but I'm just saying, I did hear that. I heard that. I would listen. No, listen. I was hearing that last year. I was hearing that a while ago. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, shout out to No Cap Entertainment. No Cap, salute fam. Salute to you, fam. But Pop Schofield went on to say that now this one really got me. Pop say I guess he said drop the addy. Basically, nigga, drop the addy, nigga, what's happening? You know, what's up? He said, where you at in Philly? You know what I mean? It kind of went left. You know, he said I send someone at you tonight. He said he'll send someone at him. Live on air. So I said, you know what? This is good promo.
And that's where I'm at with it. He's talking about another video. Those of you that's leaving comments, you're not listening to the whole thing. I didn't start this video all the way at the beginning. He was talking about what happened on Mill City. And look, that's how Schofield get down. That's not the first time I heard him say, nigga, I ain't worried about shit. You talking all that shit. Where you at? You ain't saying nothing but a thing. You ain't gonna do nothing. You know who I'm at. You know, he ain't feeling like he's in need for nothing. He say, you know my reach. Well, a nigga sitting up there speaking all that street stuff, right? I mean, you need to pay attention, depending on who you are as a person. But you heard Malachi say it was good promo. He said it was good promo. But it turned out not to be good promo when he's right at your doorstep. That's all. I did not even play this part and all that shit. I didn't want all that. I wanted when they start talking about the boxing, when they start talking about the ranks, the resume, when they start talking about when Malachi was asking, hey, when is he gonna fight a 50-50 fight? You cannot ask when he's gonna fight a 50-50 fight to a guy who is ranked in the WBA, and then there's some slight comparisons. I mean, some slight scuttlebutt of people saying, okay, well, we'll like to see him fight Abdullah Mason. And Pop's just like, Abdullah Mason is a contender, right? And then in the video, he explained, you know, Malachi said, yeah, you know, so-and-so is still building. He said, no, a contender is still building. I mean, prospect is still building. That's a prospect. And Malachi said, you're right. So it wasn't like he was just talking just to hear himself talk. He was just basically saying Mason is considered to be a prospect right now. Why? Because my son is ranked in the WBA. So if you have an issue with the WBA Ask them why my son is ranked as high as he is. And he was trying to explain the reason being is based off who he fought. Now, from the naked eye and to the casual boxing fan, they look at the resume. He fought somebody with 35 losses. He fought somebody. But that is experience, though, right? Just like I said the other day, that is experience, bro. I think a lot of us learn something from the exchange. You know what I'm saying? I did. When you look at Floyd Schofield fighting four rounders, 3 6 rounders, you know what I'm saying? 5 8 rounders and 5 10 rounders. If you add that up, y'all, it comes to 17 professional fights. Abdullah Mason, 4 4 rounders, 7 6 rounds, and 4 8 rounders. People move their fighters accordingly, man. How they think they supposed to move them. So if Pop don't want to be in conversation with people saying, "Hey, well, I want to see your son fight," man, they say he's not ranked yet. And look, for those of you that cover fights, you've heard that language. You've heard the language. And all I'm trying to tell you is the language still exists. It's just all about you listening. A lot of you don't want to hear that language because all you're looking at 15 professional fights, 17 professional fights. Yeah, they in it. Bro, no. You're not understanding the experience it takes for a fighter to step in there with these veterans, so to speak, in your fourth professional fight. That's a lot. That's experience. That fighter that's coming up in the ranks can go in there and take a L. Then they really gonna, have a setback. But the good thing about it, if you're looking at it from double side, you can say to yourself, well, at least it's early in their career. At least it's early in their career, goddammit. Whew. I'm glad we got that out the way. And you know what I'm saying? At least you can do that. Instead of, I mean, one fight, one loss don't define nobody. And these two fighters don't have no losses. But you cannot smooth over that Floyd has 5 10 rounders, yo. 5 freaking 10 rounders. You can't go in there with the arrow and say, well, we know how the WBA can be. In order for you to fight for one of these secondary titles, man, you got to have some 10 rounders. You got to fight a 10 rounder. Real talk. You have to. You have to. You have to. Real talk. You have to. And Abdullah Mason, both of these kids, Floyd and Abdullah, seem like good, well-mannered young men. Real talk. If you talk to the Masons in person, very, very, they move as a family. They move as a unit. You know what I'm saying? Very, very organized. I'm not saying that the Schofields is not like that because I haven't met them yet. I haven't met his pops. You know what I'm saying? I only seen his pops online. So, I've seen him in some heated exchanges before. I've seen him, pretty much tell people they ain't gonna do shit. I mean, I've heard all that, but I haven't met him in person. Situations like this happen all the time where you may have someone that's broken bread and it's more on a personal level. And you know what, goddamn it should be on a personal level. If that person allows you in their home and you really fucking with them, yeah, it's gonna be some bias. I don't know why people want to select when it's cool for bias to happen when they talking about a specific person, then the other they act like it's against the law. You up here breaking bread, you in here getting better, you have a better familiarization with this particular fighter. You're talking with family. And it ain't gonna be no bias. You absolutely know it's gonna be some bias. We see it all the time on the YTC. I'm not talking about on your knees kissing ass and shit bias. I'm talking about if you want to talk about the fighter and comparing the other fighters, it's gonna be some bias there. But also, if you are a true boxing head, You're gonna say the pros and cons of the fighter that you support heavy, and you're gonna say the pros and cons of the fighter that they're in competition with. But y'all, don't leave comments on there as if somebody don't know what they're talking about. A lot of you niggas quickly always try to critique somebody else, but you cannot be critiqued yourself. You don't know how to listen. You don't know how to give another man credit if you learn something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas just wasn't raised like that. Y'all haven't been around the world, some of y'all, to give somebody else that's an adult credit for teaching you something. How do you think people become smart? They have to learn. In order for you to learn, you have to know how to listen. And in order for you to listen, you have to be patient, man. You have to have the goddamn motivation to listen. You know what I'm saying? You have to listen with a passion. Okay, shit. Let me take that down, take that down. And then you remediate it. And then it's there for a long time. But some people just don't want to give nobody credit. Point blank, period. They just don't want to give nobody no credit. But I thought the live was pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. Especially after seeing him over there on Mill City. And people will sit up here and say, "Oh man, let's go feel a loudmouth and all that." No, you can't say you mad at how he handled that when dude was talking boxing majority of the time over there at Mill City. And then he said, "No, this dude's been hating on my son since he was 17." I'm like, huh? I thought he would have just came out. That's a dangerous person, bro. This person, like I tell you, man, you got to be willing to have a conversation with somebody you don't like. You have to understand how that works to figure them out. He's up here talking on a panel, knowing how he feels about Greg. I have no issues with Greg, man. I'm just telling you how the shit played out. And then he said, "Oh, this nigga been hating on my son since he was 17." And they were like, huh? Yeah, yeah. Just because he beat up one of his guys. Then it takes a different turn. Then it gets, you know what I'm saying? It gets grimy. He started talking about careers. That's a whole nother thing, but it was a good video. You know, I had no reason to do a reaction off that because that was in some street shit and all that. It wasn't anything comparable to boxing except with his son Floyd being spoken on, and I really wasn't there based off, why he was so mad and him saying that Greg hated on his son. That was more so turned into some street shit quick. But with Malachi's True Media freaking, I thought it was more so orientated around boxing, and it was. It was talking about the ranking system, and Pops was trying to explain the contender versus prospect, how there's a gap in between, why there's a gap. Look who's my son has fought. Okay. He fought the harder competition. Blunt's made a good point yesterday when it came to the betting odds. Another level of education on those of you that deal with the betting. He kind of explained what's a 50-50 fight when it comes to the minus and plus when a fighter odds come in. And then he also put out there Abdullah Mason comparable to Floyd. The numbers on how you can say, okay, this particular person number odds is this based off the competition he's fighting today. You know what I'm saying? And we all know sometimes the number is crazy high. So-and-so might be a negative 4,000 favorite. That means, what does that say about his competition? You know what I'm saying? What does it say about his competition? Based somebody by somebody coming in like a negative 800. So I mean, I love interaction, but don't make it personal. Don't come over there whining to me. I'm not babysitting y'all. I like for you all to comment and shit, but y'all trying to make it seem like I shitted on somebody. I ain't shit on nobody, man. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Support who you want to support. Not one time did I say don't support nobody and this, that, and the other. I did a reaction off the motherfucking video because it was some damn good points made in there. It was some education made in there. And Malachi wasn't properly prepared for that drubbing. because that's what it was. When you say it's a 50, when he's going to fight a 50-50 opponent, you got educated. Seriously, I'm being honest. You was educated on just talking that talk when he going to fight a 50-50 opponent. He said, I'm not going to worry until he fights somebody. Well, we know that boxing is politics. It takes a lot more than us being online talking about he gotta fight somebody. Look at Shakur. Shakur's about to fight somebody we didn't see coming from a lower division. We didn't see that coming. We didn't see Jerron Ennis about to fight Koran again. So all this shit is making sense. It's not like they're out here bullshitting us. Like, damn, boxing is full of politics, bro. When it comes to you fighting a ranked opponent, you don't want to go in there and fight for a championship and you getting paid 300,000. I'll take that back. $300. You know what I'm saying? You want to get paid your worth. You want to, because there's a scale on fighters who haven't been on pay-per-view, vice fighters who have. So it's a scale of pay that goes in there. All you have to do is go back to when Teofimo negotiated against his Lomachenko fight, and he stood strong on getting that extra money. Do your research. That's all I'm saying. Do your research, bro. I was waiting on some of those people that was in the chat over there. Man, okay, cool. I'll drop the link. Quinn was one of the ones that was over there, so I'll drop the link. You know what I'm saying? And Quinn, I'll talk to you when you get on here. Then I'll talk to you when you get on here. That's for Quinn, okay? That's for Quinn. He said, why does coach got to be a yes fanboy and say that he wants him to say? He didn't want him to say anything. He's just going off basically, the interaction, what they had. He didn't want him to say anything. What are you talking about, bro? Why do coach? First of all, are you an advocate for Coach Malachi? He a grown ass freaking man. Like, did you listen to the whole video? He's asking him to validate, verify what you're talking about. If you saying it's a 50-50 fight and I'm telling you, no, prove there's a 50-50 fight. Speak about my son's opponents. That's who I want you to speak on. If you want to talk about, we know how you can get up in the rankings, explain to me what you're insinuating. He didn't try to get him to say anything. He was really saying some real shit, bro. Come on, bro. I don't have all day, man. I dropped the link in the chat for you. You know what I'm saying? So you can vent a little bit. It shouldn't take you that long. See, what time do you leave at? 11:20? It hasn't been that long, bro. You said drop the link, bro. You know what I'm saying? I dropped the link. I'm not waiting on here for forever and a day. Y'all sitting over here advocating for Malachi, which he didn't need no advocating. All it was is he said when he gonna fight a 50-50 fight. We know how the ranking systems could be and shit like that. So shout out to Shaw News, the Sauce Experience in the building. Good morning, brother.
What's going on, WCS? How you doing, man?
I can't hear you, bro. Hold on for a second.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you at all, bro.
Can you hear me now?
Hold on for a second. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Damn, I can't hear y'all, man. I can't hear y'all at all.
I hear you loud and clear.
Hold on. Jesus Christ. My audio is working, but somehow StreamYard, my shit is not even freaking working, man. You say you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
But I can't hear y'all.
I hear you loud and clear.
I cannot hear y'all for whatever reason. That's strange. Um, damn. Hold on for a second, fellas. Hold on for a second. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool, cool. Hey, a salute to one of the hardest working men in the building, Shot News Boxing Media Marketing Agent on deck, Team Tucker official. What's good with it? What you got to say on this, man?
I want to touch on what you said about, you know, see, I think a lot of times the YouTube community, right? Being that Malachi Williams is you notice I didn't call him coach because I feel like that's his internet character. Because I have yet to see him coach any fighters or coach anybody, so I don't fall into that category with that type of shit, right? But I just think that a lot of times people they listen and they watch people, and you support who you support, like you were saying, right? So of course Malachi is going to get the popular pick for the support, but like that brother said to me in your comments, I was like, I don't think Floyd Schofield disrespected him because he never called him out his name. He just called out an action that you could tell that they have a history. You know, he's like, yo, you been to my crib, yada, yada, and all this. So he said, yo, you moving different. Right now, that's not disrespecting him. That's calling them out on some shit that, like I said, those two have a history. They have a prior understanding. But a lot of times, like I said, YouTubers, YouTube, internet, like I like to call them dick eaters, right? They be on, their own type of wave. Like they support Malachi Williams. So they was like, oh, he disrespected Malachi. He didn't disrespect him. It's all about how you interpret it. All he did was call him out on something that he felt like, yo, when you was underneath me and my son in my home, you were saying this, that, and the third. So tell your peoples that, right? Let your audience know that.
Yo, say it out to the public. You
Yeah.
know how you feel about my son. Hey, I want you to advocate for him. I want you to prove to the people why you believe my son is better. You know what I'm saying? One of the best, one of the hardest workers. Hey, was I right or wrong about the gym? Who says they the best in the gym? You know what I'm saying? You seen when Pop said, "Oh, you say he's the best in the gym?" Who says
Yeah.
that? I mean, I never said that. Because most of the time you have surplus of fighters in the gym. But the hold on for a second, Shanu. Go ahead. Is that you, Quinn, or what?
Yeah, this me.
All right, what's good, bro? You had a lot to say
What?
over there. Just explain to me what's going on in your thought process,
All
brother.
right, all right. I have a total different perspective on the matter, right? Because you can't say that the man didn't disrespect the man when one, he not allowing the man to speak, he not allowing nobody to talk, and he calling the man phony several times.
That was on the back end,
But
though, brother.
but hold on. As far as what you speaking on, as far as like you feel like people feel like you was shitting on coach or things of that nature, want me to tell you why you got people that kind of feel that way? Because when you was doing your live last night, you made a comment, you said, and I quote, if I didn't like him, I wouldn't make no review or reaction videos. Remember when you said that, right?
Okay.
But the problem with that is I know you and KO ain't the best of friends, and you'd have made several videos of him each and every time. So that's why it's
So
being
you
looked
one of
at
these?
as such.
Hey, Quinn. So you one of these guys who's going over here advocating for people that you support heavy. So you don't support me heavy, obviously, and you're gonna try to dictate how I do my reviews. I was pretty much saying that if I don't like you. I'm not gonna do a live stream like me and Coach to a point had a more personal level than me and Knockdown. But that's neither here nor there because I was pretty much putting it out there for what everybody knows. A lot of people don't know the situation. That wasn't even part of the conversation. But for you to bring it up and bring KO in here, you're off topic, brother. You came over here talking about some stuff that you don't know about.
How am I off topic when you give an example of? No, I'm not advocating because you
Yeah,
saying
you
in
advocating for
on
other
one
niggas,
sentence.
and
No,
you
I'm
don't
not.
support my channel though. You don't
Oh,
support my channel,
no,
bro.
no. Hold on. Because see, if you say in one sentence that you don't get down like that, if it's an individual you don't like or whatever, but then in another sentence we done seen you do it several times or whatever, that's a contradiction. That's
Listen,
hypocrisy. That's what we call hypocrisy. You not keeping it
okay, that's the
real.
first time I heard the word hypocrisy. Thanks for teaching me that. That's the first time I've heard that word. I think it deals with having two contradicting meanings, right? Or that's ambiguous. But what I was saying is with knockdown, it was more so.
Bust down. We call them knock down, bust down. Fuck that nigga, but come on. No.
I mean, you know, it
So,
knockdown in a sense like that has absolutely nothing to do with what I said about me not liking. Like, we've had a situation, me and Malachi. I just chose to basically do a review to him and freaking Pops. You know what I'm saying? So just because I said if I didn't like him, I'm meaning so much to the point where I'm not going to be biased on either side. You know what I'm saying? I was definitely going to be biased with Knockdown. Definitely. But I went in there with the mentality that I was going to be non-biased in talking about this particular live stream. But you pick one part that doesn't benefit me at all. It's almost like you got a problem with me and I don't even know you like that.
oh no. I ain't got no problem with you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because hey
you
man,
just pick one part of it.
I
You ain't
I
educating me
I
on
I
anything.
I listen to the whole live. I listen to all the lives. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so
And
what about what he said about the ranking systems? What do you think he said when Malachi said a 50-50 fight? What about what he's
hold
talking
on.
about? You know, doing your own work. I'm not gonna hold your hand and babysit you on doing your own homework. Are you gonna talk about the substance of the topic? Or you
Oh,
just want
all
to
right.
talk
Well, let
about drama?
no. Let's talk about it because he was asking a question for the people. He said the people wanted to know when was he going to be in the 50-50 fight. He
What
took it
people?
as if
And look
he was
what
talking
Pop
about
say. What Pop say?
he
What people? What people? Who? Who?
he
Tell
was
me
talking about the
who?
people in the chat. He was asking questions for the people in the
Man,
chat.
come on, bro. Come on,
But
man.
see, just like him, it went over his head too. You know what I'm saying? Because you go back and listen to it, it's recorded. He said
It
the
didn't go over
people. I'm
nobody's
asking.
head. It didn't go over nobody's
Well,
head, brother.
it had to because the question never got answered. It went to somewhere totally different instead of the man just asking the question.
As a
I don't
host,
see where he said anything wrong.
as a host, you have to be very selective on the questions you ask because we don't know what the heck the people, when you say the people, you have to put the freaking person's damn comment up on the screen. Did he put it up on the screen? No, right? He didn't put it on the screen,
But
did he, Quinn?
he reading it in the
Quinn, it ain't
comments
no
though.
but. Did he freaking put it on the screen to narrow it down as to who asked the question? Did he and didn't he?
The-
See, you acting like you don't want to answer questions either.
No. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm answering the question
Quinn,
right
did
now.
he or
I'm
didn't
not.
he,
I'm not.
brother? Did he
I'm
put the
not for
comment up
sure.
on the screen, brother? That's all I
But
want
he
to know.
said before he said it, he said, "I'm gonna read these comments that coming from the people in the chat," and that's when he asked that question. But he took it as though he was asking the question, and that's where it went wrong.
No, it didn't go wrong, man, because if you read the question from the chat, you are the messenger there, Quinn. You're the host. You're the messenger. It didn't go over nobody's head. You have the option as a host on your channel to either acknowledge what's going on in the chat while you're doing a live stream or not. You know what I'm saying? At one point, Pops did read, and you heard me say he should just leave the people alone in the chat that's talking. You hear me say that? No, you didn't hear me say that because that'll benefit me. But I told Pops, I said, man, you
Listen,
know, you shouldn't read what the chat is talking about because they're all for Malachi, those his subscribers, so they ain't gonna be on your side. I said that. But me and you talking about the same thing right now. If he's saying that the person they saying in the chat, put the motherfucking comment up on the screen so that person can be identified.
I'm just trying to. I'm asking you. Well, I'm asking you because you put the title up there. Who was right and who was wrong? I'm trying to figure out how was Coach wrong when he was getting disrespected on his show, on
See,
his
this is
platform.
okay. Wrong can be a lack of knowledge. Coach, the way he was wrong was asking, okay, when he gonna fight a 50-50 fight? And Pops was up here telling him, why are you looking at um a ratings of my son's opposition up to this point when we're feeding our families, right? We're feeding our families. So to a lot of people, they saying, but you're still building your record up and you're undefeated and you saying your son is the best ever. He say, don't waste your time rating my son's freaking resume and we're building it up and we're feeding our family. He fought 7 times in 2020, 2021? I think Floyd Schofield. I mean, he's getting checks right now. But in the process of getting checks, he has 5 10-rounders already, bro. So he was pretty much putting it out there like, when is your son gonna fight a 50-50 fight? You can't ask that question. What fighters fighting a 50-50 fight? Not all fighters are fighting 50-50s. They're fighting
Okay,
opposition that they can beat at that stage in their
but
career.
but asking that question, did it warrant all that though?
Man, I can't
Did it
speak for
warrant all
another
that?
man. That's like me speaking for Shaw. I ain't gonna be able to speak for that man in person. You know what I'm saying? We can both know information about the topic, but I'm gonna say, hey, hold on, Shaw News. Let me explain for you. I mean, you gotta ask him that. You're asking me something about a grown man, bro. You ain't gonna let me speak for you, right? Okay then. You know? And I see how you got your logo up there with Jerry Anderson sitting on his ass. You know, you an American patriot. I like how you got, all heavyweight hopeful as your logo and McCauley, the Congo, dropping him on his ass. So I know where your
Oh
support
yeah.
is at.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it to the fullest.
Okay. I mean, but staying on topic though, what else did you have to say about that interview with Malachi?
I mean, shit.
Was it something I said
Just,
right
just.
over there, Quentin? Was it something I said that
No,
right that you liked
uh,
over there?
I mean,
Nothing, right? Okay, then prove my point.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, man. You know what I'm saying? When you said that, right, about I don't make those type of videos when I know you done made them videos. Oh, that nigga, Iorilla, whoever, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
Iorilla? I never said no Iorilla. What are you talking about, bro? That ain't
I,
my
I,
language.
I, no,
Iorilla.
I'm talking about Iorilla. You know,
Who is that?
Glorilla, Iorilla. You know your boy. Huh,
No. See,
huh,
when y'all give grown
yeah.
men nicknames like that, that ain't me, man. I know my language. I ain't never said that about Io. I ain't never said no Iorilla. Find it. Screenshot it, brother. Screenshot
No,
it.
I ain't say. No, I ain't saying you did. I ain't saying you said I. I'm talking about when you done made videos on him too.
But
Hmm.
see, that's between me and him back then. Old news, brother. That don't have. Look, I didn't do a review on Malachi. I did to freaking go at him. I did a review because I felt that the information on how Pops had came over there and found out that him and Malachi had, he had known his kid for like 4 years back in the day. It was more of a personal relationship they had. And, the whole situation, like, oh, you know how sanctioning bodies can do it. No, we need to explain because Pops is a different type of mouthpiece. Dude talk
You ain't
a
lying.
thousand miles per hour and he still stay on fucking topic. So this was a educational moment for me and some other people too. That's all I was saying.
I ain't gonna lie. It's hard to get educated. Just like right now. Let's say, for example, right now. Let's say if I wanted to learn something or I need to learn something from you. I wouldn't be able to be educated and learn shit. You know what I'm saying? If I'm constantly running my mouth and talking over you, being rude to you and not letting you speak, how can I learn any how can I be educated on anything?
I mean, did you hear me say that Pops wouldn't allow Malachi to get a word out? It was a one way. It was one way traffic. You probably didn't hear that because then you'd be
Oh,
telling me something
I
I did
heard you
that was
say
right.
that. No,
I
no,
mean,
no, I heard
look,
you say
look,
I
look,
heard you when you said that, but
Malachi should have put him in the background, bro. Period.
man, I'd have been hit the eject button on him long time ago when I was the second phony
But but
out of
but
five.
but look, as a man, you have to look at it like this. Why is another man calling me phony? If Shaw News is calling me phony, I will have to ask him, why are you calling me phony, bro? I want to know because we've been on a personal level. So what makes me phony? He wasn't just calling that man phony just for fun. He was calling him phony because he said some things internally to his household, personally, inside his home, breaking bread about his son. Nobody's out working him. He's this, he's that. So he's saying you ain't defending my son out here. That's all. You phony. He called it the way he seen it. You got a problem with that on how Pops said it?
So, trying, yeah, in the way I did because it sounded like more than less like he was trying to make that man say what he wanted him to say when he was hollering this shit about saying that he was the greatest. I can't see, coach, or anybody telling any fighter that ain't even been a champion yet that they the greatest. That's kind of
No,
hard
that's cap.
for
That's
anybody to
cap.
see that one. That
That's
you
that,
know
that's
that.
that's cap, Quinn.
You know,
That's cap. He didn't want Malachi to say that his son was the greatest. He was asking him, has anyone denied that his son was the greatest? He said, I said my son was the greatest. Have you heard anybody else up here going against what I said? That's all. He didn't
no, it
he
sounds like
said
he
it.
also said that he said at his house. I guess he was trying to say that he so had told him at his house that he told him in front of his son that quote unquote he was the greatest. That's what it sounded like. I heard. I might have to rehear it
No, that's
again.
when one of the greatest boxers in the gym came. He said, "I told him that he's one of he one of the greatest or the best. Don't quote me on that. One of the greatest or the best boxers in the gym." And that's when Pop said, "Oh, the gym? Oh, you said the gym?" I don't think Pops was lying on a lot of that shit, bro. I don't know.
I know. I know that's a hell of a stretch to say, man. That's a hell of a. That sounds real
Look, I agree.
fanboyish right
I
there. If he
agree.
did,
But fathers advocate for their kids. If their fathers believe they got the best fighter going, what you think about that, Shaw? You think when it comes down to fathers advocating, won't they say some stuff like that?
I
You know what I'm
know, I know,
saying?
I know personally. My brother, his two sons. You cover them.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
how Paul was supposed to go. You're not gonna say another fighter is better than your son. If you're coaching your son, you're raising your son. That's the protocol.
I don't find it
so do y'all
against the
think he
law.
really told that man that? Just a question.
I
Just
No,
a
no,
question. Do
no.
y'all
He
think he
he
really
never
told
he
that
never
man?
s-
to be
he never look.
honest.
He never
I think
said that.
I
You got some background
was
noise, Quinn.
phony, and he was saying he was moving different. And I think you highlighted this too, Combat. How both of them laughed when they was like, "Yo, but you told him to his face this," and they both laughed. There was a lot of truth to what Floyd Schofield was saying. While Coach Malachi was kind of on.
You finish?
Yeah,
You
I'm done.
still? I mean, you still think that he was trying to get Malachi to say that his son was the greatest fighter of all time? No, that's not what I got from that.
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about. It sounds like he said that he tried to say that he told him that. Like he told him that when he was at his house. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Coach actually said that because Coach said in the interview, I did not say that. So it was some type of insinuation of him supposed to say that his son was supposed to be quote unquote the best, and Coach denied that. And my question to you is, Do you think him or anybody that would tell a fighter that ain't been no champion of any kind that he's the greatest?
No, you got to see from the outside looking in. You have to look at the mannerisms. At one point in time, when I said both Floyd and his pops both was smiling at the same time, that to me, when they was talking, what they was talking about at that moment, they was telling the truth. I got that vibe that both of them was linking up, and that they was agreeing that something was said internal when he was in their home, that he might have said Floyd was the best in the division or one of the best in this, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever was said. I'm not saying that that Malachi said his son Floyd was the best ever. Obviously, because he hasn't fought the top level competition yet. But if Pops want to say his son is the greatest fighter ever, he can say that. You don't tell a black man what limitation he has on accrediting his kids. You know what I'm saying? Especially in a combat sport like the hurt business. I mean, you only pick certain parts out the freaking screen. I mean, out the interview. You know what I'm saying? That's what it seemed like to me. You was being very selective on what you was listening to. Yeah, Quinn.
No, I was listening. I was listening to everything, but I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? But before I go, you know what I'm saying, I just gonna leave you with this here, man. You know, the YTC community, I think as a whole, everybody take people and their opinions too personal. We went through that shit with the Earl and Spence. I mean, Spence and Crawford, to where you got Earl fans that can't stand dudes that like Crawford because they like Crawford. You got dudes that like that like Crawford that can't stand Spence fans because they like Spence. When at the end of the day, we all have different opinions. You know what I'm saying? Just because we have a different opinion, it shouldn't have to go get personal, man. Or it should go to another level and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody should be able to debate and get wrecked from time to time without it being an issue or a problem, because we just talking about boxing. That's all we talking about is boxing. Am I right or wrong?
I hear what you're saying. I mean, that's all I can say. I hear what you talk. You're talking about something that's off topic a little bit, but I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah, man, because you know,
What do you think
uh,
about? It's my opinion. He said they was talking about Floyd being the hardest working. That's it. He said I didn't ever tell you that your son was the greatest boxer of all time. I never said that. And Floyd said, I didn't say you said it. I said it. And no one never said he wasn't. That's how he brought it. He didn't wasn't trying to get Malachi to say his son was the greatest fighter of all time. He said, I said my son was the greatest fighter of all time. And nobody said no, he wasn't. He said, did you look at me and Bill Haney's interview? Did you watch me and Bill Haney's interview? This, that, and that. I mean, have you watched this? No one denied it. You know what I'm saying? He's just on his, he's just on his mouthpiece shit, talking his shit. But hey, Quinn, are you subscribed to the channel? I don't think you subscribed to the channel, what I'm looking at.
I,
But
I
it was
want to
good.
say I am. If
Okay.
not, I'll make sure I am. I want to say I am. I get all the notifications. I listen. A lot of times I be at work or whatever,
I
but
was
I
just
listen.
asking, man. I was just asking because it seemed like you was Paul
Uh,
Revere
uh,
today.
uh,
You was on the
no,
horse delivering messages and shit.
see. I ain't like other people that listen to views lives and don't participate, don't hit the like button, don't comment, nothing like that. If I listen to you live, I'm gonna listen to. I'm gonna always hit the like button, whether I agree or disagree, right? And if I'm listening and coming, I put a comment in there here and there. I don't do the shit most motherfuckers do, be in the background and be listening and don't
Is this your
support.
first time commenting though? Is this your first time commenting
Oh
on
no,
my
I done
live?
commented before. No,
Oh,
I done
okay.
commented before.
Okay, I have to.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Mhm.
Anything else, brother? I appreciate you pulling up, though. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, I saw you over there heavy on the keyboard, so I was like, hey, you said drop the link. It's all good. A lot of people kind of had some misinterpretations of that live stream and where I was going with it. But it's funny how, I can say 100 things right, but somebody want to hold you, say, oh, it was hypocrisy that you said that you did that about KO. I'm like, if you don't like KO, it's even crazier for you to come over here and try to correct me on what I said about doing a review on coaching shit. I just find that 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 right there, man.
Regardless if I like him or not, can we call that a contradiction? That would be a contradiction. That will go against what you had said.
I was
I'm
looking at
just
it more
pointing out the
so.
example.
Look,
I'm
let's
just
say
pointing out
your
an
example
example.
is a contradiction. Let's just say it's a contradiction. A contradiction.
Okay.
Okay, let's leave it at a contradiction. Because what I was really trying to say, I can dislike or not be cordial with somebody and still do a review on them.
Hmm.
That's what I always say. I can have a conversation with somebody I don't like. Doesn't mean I have to, drop personal details about that shit. That's all I got to say on that. I ain't gonna get on there
Mhm.
and tell everybody, oh, what I think this, not. I don't know. That's been done to me though. But that wasn't why I was doing reaction on this video. I was doing reaction because it was entertaining and there was some good shit said in there about the ranking system and somebody talking about 50-50 fight and how Pops was talking about contender versus prospect in comparison to his son and Mason. That's what I thought that was educational.
Because
Appreciate you
I'll say
appreciate you
this.
pulling up though. Yeah.
Oh, no
Go
doubt,
ahead.
no doubt.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this last thing. When uh, at one sense, when they got on that subject and he was talking about, the fighters on his son's resume, but yet I think Coach was pointing out his hypocrisy because he called Abdullah Mason's opponents all cab drivers.
I mean, that's his opinion. That's his opinion. So let's just say the caveat of what you said. Let's just say you feel that that's contradicting. They all cab drivers. That's boxing talk. You know what I'm saying? People say that all the time. Bums, cab drivers, tomato cans. I mean, it's up. It's you know what I'm saying. Like I can see if Abdullah Mason was Malachi's son, and then you had him going against Pop and Floyd. They was in the same division. But that man is just giving an opinion, and he's disrespecting Abdullah Mason. So is it up to Malachi to defend? I don't think he knows the Masons like Shaw News them know the Masons. I'm pretty sure of that. So is it up to him to defend just because he said
I,
Abdullah's fought number cab drivers?
I didn't take it as he was defending. I think he was just pointing out that you can't say you saying this about the opponents with your son, but you said this about Abdullah Mason. I think he was just trying to point out that, hey, hold up, that ain't, it's kind of like the same thing if somebody was to say the same thing about your son, because it is individuals that feel like, and this is true, that he ain't really fought nobody yet. You know what I'm saying? It's people that do feel that way.
Well, he does have people on his record that has incredible amount of experience. But I'm not knocking a duelist record because it's good to have them opponents with them O's on their record early on. It's clean. You know what I'm saying? It's clean. You don't have to have opponents with losing records. You don't. I mean, everybody's freaking template is different starting off in boxing. Jahad Tucker don't have. Jahad Tucker doesn't have a losing record opponent on his record since day one. It's all about how they build their fighter. Every fighter is built different, raised different, really. But I appreciate you pulling up, bro.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Salute. Have a good one, bro. Yeah. You know, I heard your live stream early today, and I just felt like this is something that's normal in boxing, man. When you have conversations like this, it just, you talking to a high energy dude that's gonna say, "Okay, I'm gonna hold you accountable for your words." That's all.
I could dig it, but yo, W said my thing is this, right? And I think this is what happens a lot of times with the YTC. You get content creators that, and I'm learning this now, growing a little bit from the media side now, doing other things, right? They always want to talk to you on a level like they know the level that you're on. Like you were talking to a father in Schofield Senior whose son got 17 professional fights.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's talking about, speaking on the business of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas no disrespect to Coach Malachi, but it's like, yo, dog, you're a content creator. What do you actually do in boxing other than that do a YouTube channel? But this man has took his son, like he said on the what's the name? We had to hustle up to $2,000 to get him on the fight card. Like he's walking the steps.
Yeah.
So knows a little something. But I think a lot of times YTC content creators in general, not on no Coach Malachi shit, but in general, they always think they know shit because they have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, the social media and YouTube channel, it's a lot of distortion in that, because it's a lot that came from that live that proves that if you ain't going to fights, if you ain't locked in with a team, there's going to be a huge um void in
Shit.
between what you know. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You
That's
can't you can't learn everything from behind the screen and shit. You got to go to these fights in different freaking regions, bro, and cover the motherfuckers. That's all.
that's why I was saying that. I was like, yo, to be honest, that man did not disrespect them, man. I was like, yo, he just kept it on some, they got a prior history and an understanding. Because I was like, if he really wanted to be disrespectful, he could have been. Because he like, yo, you're talking to somebody that has done this, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think not for none. I think he's like co-manager of his son too, as well
Yeah.
as the trainer. So he knows the ins and outs of the business, man.
Yeah.
Saying he knows what he was speaking on. He was giving you. He was like basically when he was like, how does it work? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. How does it work?
how does it work? Since like, please inform me. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like,
said, he said, I'm not gonna hold your hand. Have we not heard that before? I'm not gonna hold your hand. I'm not gonna do your homework. Do your own homework, man.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he said, you journalists, y'all have to do your research.
It was a hell of a good live, and your reaction was good. And like I said, Malachi is a popular content creator. So people gonna feel some type of way, especially when they're used to always seeing him being the one dictating the pace. He wasn't dictating
Correct.
the pace yesterday. That's all it was.
Yeah. True. That's true.
That's all it was, man. But yo, I'm gonna let you continue your show, man. I work around a lot of slip droppers, man. They
Yeah. Yeah. You right?
I work around. They're gonna say, man, he was on the line, and it was after lunch. yeah, let me get up out of here,
All
Doug.
right, for sure, man. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you pulling up as always.
Yeah,
Team Tucker official in the building. Hey, man, I wasn't gonna take forever. I put in over an hour. You know what I'm saying? But I just felt to do the live because when you do reaction to people's videos, I just looked at it like, if I had interaction with somebody, I can still do a live that's considered, you know, with limited biasness to it. It was some good points made in the live stream. It's just I felt like the knowledge of it, you know what I'm saying? The person who was dropping the gems was Pops, Schofield Senior, in my opinion. Real talk. He was dropping some gems, and he was doing it kind of smoothly too. He was saying you journalists. He didn't say you YouTuber. He said you journalists need to do your homework. I'm not gonna do your homework. I'm not gonna hold your hand. If you're gonna say this, you know how the WBA does it. You know. No, I don't know. Explain it to me. Explain it to me. You brought it up. You explain it to me. How does the WBA do it? What do you mean by 50-50 fight? At this point, he's feeding his family. What do you? All he was doing is saying, explaining shit. You're not gonna fast talk a fast talker like that, man, who has a motherfucking recall memory that's on freaking Ritalin. He recall memory that's on Nas, on diesel fuel. I mean, come on, you're not gonna out talk the dude, bro. And I can see if he was talking a bunch of nonsense, but he was talking some shit that makes sense. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Forget, the interaction he had with Greg over there. I don't know anything about that. I just know that I thought it was just an innocent interaction. He thought Greg was pretty, biased about his son, but I didn't know Greg had known his son. So I can understand they was connecting more so on a history, a backstory. They had a backstory to the history between them. I didn't know that until he mentioned it. Just like I didn't know there was a history between Malachi and freaking Pops. So now it's starting to make a little bit more sense as to why the conversation took a turn the way it did. You know what I'm saying? Because certain things were said. Certain things were said. And people like Pops will hold you accountable because they got a goddamn memory. Whoo, that pendulum keeps swinging, bro. They got that mentally pendulum, and you know who in the middle? He put you in the middle of that pendulum when y'all having a dialogue about what you said. That shit come bang, bang, bang. I'm telling you. And these conversations are good. These interactions are good. I ain't gonna lie. They're good if it's some productive information being discussed. Like one thing I won't do, if you are heavy to one channel, if you come over here, I'm like, bro, if you ain't all that bitch ass nigga and shit, now you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about and all that, you gotta understand, I'm giving my opinion on some shit. I'm giving my opinion in a review. That's what a review is. If you don't like me talking during the review, understand I am utilizing somebody else's content and I have to speak in between it because that's what a review is. Why am I gonna play it from start to finish and it's somebody else's content? You can just go over there to their channel and listen to it. Stupid that people say them dumb shits, man. It doesn't make any sense to me, bro. It really don't make any sense. How people saying, "Oh, why you have to?" I'm talking because I'm doing a freaking review, man. Does it not make any sense? He said he wanted to educate the audience and he flipped it on Coach. Look, he may have it's his panel first of all. It's his channel first of all. So if you're gonna educate the audience, a perfect example again I would use for those of you. If you're gonna educate the audience, you say, okay, so he got to a point where Coach hit a threshold and he just semi crashed out. He said, I'm not gonna give him credit to he jump in there with better competition or whatever he said, right? At this point in time with better competition, you have to start looking at the experience of the competition he's fighting. We've seen fighters be in Floyd Schofield's position on the ranking system and still don't get a title fight. This is not exclusive to Floyd. We've seen it with Sebastian Fundora. Come on, stop playing. Stop playing. We've seen it with Sebastian Fundora, bro. We've seen fighters who be at the door and don't get the title shot yet. They put another fighter up there and another fighter. That's why you hear the language, oh, why is this fighter, this champion, holding up the division? I mean, what was going on when Jermell Charlo was on a hiatus? What about when Jamal Charlo was on a hiatus, and Carlos Adames was there, and the WB say, oh, we're not going to strip Jamal Charlo because we are giving him time to get through. What? So we can't have this conversation like time you get up in the ranking system next to a champion, you getting a title shot. When Mauricio Suleiman was up there saying we're not going to strip Jamal Charlo until he got arrested again for fleeing. And then they say, you know what? No, we stripping him. Then Carlos Adames, who was sitting there patiently waiting his shot, gets it. You feel me? Come on, bro. Come on, man. What about David Benavidez? Come on, are we really gonna play this game and act like it's different for Schofield? He's not gonna. I mean, it's fighters out there looking to pull up in the rankings and get the title shot. We seen Virgil Ortiz. I mean, one Virgil Ortiz at 147 pounds, right up there. Why he didn't get the shot at Crawford? I mean, come on, let's be real, man. There's been plenty of people that's in these positions that don't get the shot. That's all I'm saying, bro. Shout out to Jessica, the boxing queen in the building. Salute to you. I didn't take it no kind of way. I mean, when y'all say you took it, what did I take it? I look. I'm basically my interpretation is decoding what I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the mannerisms. I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying attention. I didn't take anything the wrong way. It's easy to hear somebody say something and then understand because I have went to several fights upon fights to know what Floyd is talking about. He's making a living right now. Coach's mindset is, when is he gonna fight somebody? And Pops is like, why are you even rating his opponent, his opposition right now? Because Coach asks, how do you grade his opposition? He say, my son is fighting to provide for his family right now. So why would his opposition at this point in his career be graded? This man fought 7 times in 2021, I think. Why are we grading competition when we know fighters build up their resume? We truly grading competition now? Because like another thing that Pop said, I can give you names of some big name fighters and you go back early in their career. Are you going to say, oh, I didn't know so-and-so fought that? Are you going to say they fought tomato cans too? I mean, he was making some good points, man. You ain't talking to no freaking, man, he ain't no rookie, bro. I didn't take nothing the wrong way. I didn't take nothing the wrong way. I said I felt that he was a bit loud and you know what I'm saying, Malachi had the option to put him in the background, which would have shut all that down. It would have pissed him the fuck off. But for his audience, they would have said, "Oh shit." You know what I'm saying? You sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I want to hear a person out, but it was one-way traffic. It was a monologue. What was it disrespectful? Yeah. But also, I'm looking at, okay, why was he disrespectful? Come to find out, he invited the man to it. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother personal level that we didn't know nothing about. So he's saying, no, man, I ain't giving you a chance to talk. Even though it's your channel, I'm not giving you a chance to talk because you was in my house and we talked. And you knew about a lot of the stuff that you supposed to have cataloged. So when you get to this point and people talking about my son, you was here in my house. You should be advocating for my son if that's what you was holding with your integrity. If that's how you felt about my son, you say he was the best in this and that. I'm pretty sure Malachi didn't say he was the best ever. Because Pop say, I never said you said that. I said that. And nobody's denied it. You know, that's what he want to think about. I mean, that's what he's saying, that he said that. So he's not trying to give people the impression that Coach Malachi said. He's trying to get Coach, get Malachi to say that his son was the greatest of all time. No, he said that shit, and he said nobody denied it. And you could take that for what it's worth. I think it's small peas in a bucket at the end of the day with that topic. But when you talk about a 50-50 fight, how do you grade his opposition, and you're implying that he need to step up competition, well, guess what? It don't work like that. Because if you're in the ranking system, you try to sustain that. You try to sustain that at 135-pound division, right? At 135-pound division. And you're ranked high in the WBA. You're second in the WBA. Who's the champ at the WBA? Do you think at this point in time Schofield is going to get a shot at Gervonta Davis? Come on. So if you know that, you wouldn't be on here arguing that I don't know this, that, and the other. Just think about what I'm saying. You think Schofield is going to get a shot at Gervonta Davis? That's not even up for discussion. That's not even up for discussion. I don't see him getting a shot at Javante Davis. But when it comes to him fighting, his dad say, I want to fight somebody in the top 5. Because he fights somebody, a ranked opponent, what is that going to do for his son? He goes in there and get the win. It continues to build him up. It builds up his appraising value, his boxing FICO score. That's where we at with it. He ain't trying to fight nobody that's not even in the top 15 rankings. That's what he's saying. Regardless of popular opinion, they're not trying to fight somebody that's not in the ranking system. And I totally get where they at with it. You know what I'm saying? In the IBF, he's ranked 13th, but still he's in the top 15 of the sanctioning body. He's in the top 3 of a sanctioning body. Hey man, you have every right to feel the way you feel, but they was on a personal level and it got disrespect on something that I wasn't privy to. I'm not here to be a therapist. I'm not going to use my 2 credits of psychology. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an unemployed freaking psychiatrist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a shrink. I'm not a part-time priest. I see where you at. Opinion. I see you voicing your opinion. It's all good. But hey, I'm gonna bounce up out of here. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. Continue to support and hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate you. I'm out. Peace.